What is up, everyone? It is Spada del Signore. Let's go! God bless you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And in this video, I'm going to be kind of giving my thoughts on the debate/dialogue between Mufti Abu Layth and Dr. Abdul Majid. So, for those who don't know, Mufti Abu Layth is kind of like a revisionist, I guess, Muslim. I wouldn't call him like progressive. But he kind of really, he's a Maliki, which is it's a madhab, or like a legal school inside Islam. There are four major schools, and Maliki is one of them. So he kind of has this, more questioning nature towards hadith. Like he made this whole video series on Bukhari gate. So it's basically saying how Sahih al-Bukhari is not as authentic as people think it to be, and that it has a lot of errors and things that are reprehensible in his opinion towards Muhammad and his character. So that was his position. And he also talks about the sanad issues in Sahih al-Bukhari, specifically with the one narrator that carries on Bukhari's book, Al-Firabri, who is kind of like an unknown guy who's not vouched for, has never been called thiqah by basically a contemporary, not until like 150 years after. Anyway, Dr. Abdul Majid is I don't know what he is exactly, but I mean, he's definitely a Sunni Muslim. He's an imam. So the debate was very interesting. It was very cordial. They just kept talking in Urdu or Hindi. It was one of those, but they joked a lot. It was very lighthearted. The thing, though, I did feel that Abu Layth really answered all of his questions. He wouldn't really dodge, but unfortunately, Dr. Abdul Majid did a lot of dodging. So specifically with first off, that Farabri character. So this guy who narrates Sahih al-Bukhari, who's the only basically copy of Sahih al-Bukhari that we have that's still in existence today, that we can have in print, is through this guy, al-Farabri. Now this guy, he's basically unvouched for by any contemporary. He's not said to be trustworthy or a righteous guy. There's nothing about his character. And for those who know about usul hadith, you know that you have to be vouched for to be, pronounced a good narrator. You cannot just be sahih just for no reason. You cannot be daif for no reason. There has to be a reason. You have to have a bad memory. You have to have bad character. There has to be something wrong with you for you to not be a good narrator. There has to be something good for you to be accepted in a sahih narration. So this guy isn't, though. And that's the problem that Abu Layth has been saying. This guy's unvouched for by any contemporary in 150 years. And there's a problem. And Abdul Majid basically just says, why is that a problem? No one said anything bad about him. So in a way, that's going against the whole hadith science, because it's supposed to be founded on empirical facts. Obviously, these kind of rijal kind of books that talk about people's character, there's nothing on this al-Farabri. So technically, you cannot narrate from somebody who is unknown or unvouched for, because it lowers the grade of the hadith. And since all of these hadith were narrated by al-Farabri, and of course, there are other people that narrated them too, not just him, but it's a huge problem. So that was the one main thing that Dr. Abdul Majid never could adequately answer. So to any of those people out there who said, Mufti Abu Layth is a joke and he's easily refuted, Farid has refuted him, why won't Farid ever actually debate him? And I'm not a Mufti Abu Layth apologist. I'm not even Muslim. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I just learn about Islam because there are many people that I've interacted with that I care about who are Muslim, and they really believe this stuff. So I want to understand it so that I can reveal the truth of the gospel to them. Now, to say Farid has debunked Mufti Abu Layth, I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I mean, Mufti Abu Layth has his own fatwa, his own opinions on, alcohol and drugs and wearing perfume, all that stuff that, might be haram or not. I don't know. So he might be able to be debunked on that, but this he was not able to be debunked on. So that's what I want to see more people like Dan al-Haqiqatshu, Muhammad Hijab, Farid, all of these people who are seen as like the warriors of Sunni Islam to go against him in this area, because he's obviously very knowledgeable, talking about all these different books about people saying that this was error, Ibn Hajar and all this stuff, and Al-Qurtubi and all these different names. He just boom. The other thing that I thought was really interesting in the debate is Abu Layth brought all of these examples from Bukhari Gate that he feels slander Muhammad's character. So I think the most powerful one was the one with I should say the main two. The main two that I thought were really good were the ones about Muhammad forgetting the Quran. So obviously there's this concept in Islam about abrogation or naskh, and there are the naskh verses and the mansukh. So there's the abrogating and the abrogated verses. That's a concept that somehow has arose. It's in the Quran. Abu Layth says that's in reference to the previous scriptures, which obviously are not true, in his opinion, but they obviously are true. But he says that's about previous scriptures, whereas Dr. Abdul Majid said no, it's about the Quran. So the problem that Abu Layth was saying is, how can the Prophet forget part of the Quran, yet some common person in the masjid is reciting it and reminds the Prophet? Like, the notion that Allah would take those verses away from the Prophet, but still some random Sahabi in the masjid would still remember it, is like horrifying to the Prophet's memory. It just makes him look clumsy, is what Abu Layth said, and which is a really good concept, because the Quranic concept is that we do not cause a verse to be forgotten unless we replace it with something better or give something equivalent. So it was forgotten by Muhammad, but it was remembered by somebody else. And you can find many of these examples throughout the hadith. There's ones about certain things, like there's the one, I forget which Sahabi it is that narrates it, but it said that there was a surah that was about the size of Surah Al-Baqarah, and he's forgotten all of it except that if there were two valleys full of treasure, the Son of Man would still desire or hunger for a third, basically. So this happens everywhere. So it's odd that it's only for certain people that forget it or are made to forget it, but not other people. So that's the one thing. The other thing that was really it was sad, because you could see Dr. Abdul Majid doing these kind of mental gymnastics and stuff, is the one about the hadith about Al-Isra, so the night journey. And it's clearly that it says in that narration of Sahih al-Bukhari for 7517, it says qabla, before he received the revelation, in ayuha ilayhi. So Abdul Majid was trying so hard to say that, it should stop here and start here, that this should be the description of what happened and then. But Abu Layth was saying how all of these scholars said it's an error, it's a mistake, and just there were just a ton of things. The Prophet had getting magic done to him. He said, how is this possible that he could be delusional and have false thoughts? Of course, it's terrible for him to even forget the Quran and some random guy to remind him of something that he had forgotten. But even for him to have false memories of things that he never actually did, like saying, hey, we went over there and ate that food yesterday, and they said, no, we didn't. Or, oh yeah, I had sex with they didn't talk about that, but there is a narration talking about it was having to do with having sex with his wives. Oh yeah, I had sex with Aisha yesterday. No, you didn't. So stuff like that really shows Muhammad in a bad light. Same thing with him asking the one woman to give herself to him. I forget how it goes. bihi nefsikili, something like that, I forget. But all of this was basically a culminating thing to show that Bukhari Gate was not refuted. I thought Mufti Abu Layth won the debate. In my opinion, or the dialogue, because it wasn't really that antagonistic. Towards the end, though, I could tell Abu Layth was getting frustrated that he just was like not saying that it was an error, that it said qabla instead of ba'da, after. But anyway, that was it for this video, guys. 5 hours and 50 minutes of that. That was a lot to go through, but if you deal with Islam and studying it, I'd suggest you watch it. It was interesting. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. God bless you all, and I hope that you know when I do these videos on Islam, I refrain from using any abusive language, using anything that is foul. I speak the truth in love, and I hope that comes across. I never want to bash people. I mean, sometimes I will be strong in the way I say things, but I just hope that you understand that my respect for you. You're allowed to believe what you believe. I'm allowed to challenge it, though. So that's it for this video, guys. God bless you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Spada del Signore, out.